All right, hi. Um, I'm a little bit early on this live stream, about 3 minutes, but hopefully people will start showing up. Today I'm going to paint these peonies. I keep calling them poppies in my head, but they are not. They are peonies. And I have a picture that I'll be using as reference, and this is what it looks like. So this is what I have in my head as being going to be the focal point and the secondary spot, and the other ones I want to downplay a bit so that they're not all bright pink and drawing all of the attention. So besides the photo and this little sketch, I don't have any other plans for that. So we're just going off the cuff. It's basically a little watercolor sketch, if you will. I also have an announcement, and it's that I am working on a fairy coloring book. So I have a couple sketches for it that I've been working on, a few so far. Obviously they're just pencil so far, not inked. And these sketches are going to go in the coloring book. It's just going to be like a mini book, like not too many pages, but it's going to be free for everybody who is signed up for my email list by June 30th. So that's the day I'm hoping to have it come out, or maybe the day after, July 1st. But everyone that's signed up for my email list by June 30th will get a free digital download of the book. So make sure you sign up before then. You can sign up on my website talesfantastic.com, and there's also links to sign up below this video. I think I got this painting dirty while I was showing you that. And there's links to sign up on my Instagram. It's basically any newsletter link will sign you up, and you'll get the free download that day. That'll be the only time it's available, is just that one day for free. I'll probably sell it later. So that's all the kind of housekeeping I have. We are gonna get started, and I am gonna start by using this. It's a Princeton Neptune brush. And we are going to mix some greens and some pinks for this. And my photo doesn't have a lot of light shining on it. It was probably in shadow when I took it. So I'm going to try to inject that a little bit into the painting, but we'll see if I can do it. Again, it's a sketch, so we'll see what happens. So first thing I did, I believe this is Hunter's Green, and I'm just mixing a little bit of it with everything that was already on my palette right here. Kind of takes away that initial like super brightness. And this one, it's kind of like a phthalo green, but I'm pretty sure this is Windsor green or Windsor blue. I think there's two, Windsor blue green shade and Windsor blue shade maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a Winsor Newton green color that's kind of turquoisey, I guess, but definitely on the green side. But both of these are a little bit too like vibrant. They're like screaming about how green they are. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of red in with them. I think I'll use this one. So this is Permanent Rose. beginning to be using that for the poppies. So I think, yeah, see how that just like grayed it right up? It's lovely. Do the same thing over here. I'm also going to grab a little bit of my warm yellow, which I can't ever remember the name of, and just do a slightly warmer section. So I have 3 greens mixed. This kind of in between green, the more yellow, warm green, and this more cool green. And then with the poppies, rinse my brush a bit. Grab this permanent rose. I feel like this color pretty much matches what's in the photo. So I'm just going to make a big puddle of it. But there are some subtle shades. Right now I'm going to grab this one. This is Janet's Violet Rose. It's an American Journey color. That's the brand. So I have like a little bit purpley version and like the pinker version. For now I'm just going to leave it like that, but I'll probably add some other colors as we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my in-between green and start flinging it around. Let's see. I spray this a bit. The one place it went that I didn't want it to go is right on this petal. I'm just gonna grab it. Okay. And I'm kind of going between those 3 colors that I mixed. I'll probably add some other colors to yellows and blues mostly. And I want it to have some texture, so I'm not filling in everything like a smooth wash. And especially with, so the peonies that are less important, I am going to, while it's still wet, just grab my color and put it on there. Maybe leave a little bit of white areas, but it's going to bleed together with the background. And I'm going to let it do that. This one, I want it to be a little bit more defined, so I'm going to paint around it. Same with that one, but I don't want it to look like it's outlined, so I think what I'm going to do, so paint around that shape. I'm going to grab my pink again, and the bottom has these shadows. I'm going to add that in. So it's going to be a softer edge on that. Bottom area. Okay, so same thing with this guy. And that one too, probably. I think, so I like that little white. I saved some. Try and do that in a couple other spots. Around that one, this main one. Again, I don't want it to dry all hard edges, so taking the color, putting it in a few key spots. And same with the big one. I'm just picking the short of shadow areas and then let that edge bleed right into the background. Ah, oh, dang it. This is a petal. I thought it was a leaf. Let's see if we can save it. It's definitely not going to be vibrant like it would have been. Not the end of the world, but definitely a mistake. And then this one can blend right in. Yeah, save a little white. So while that's still a little wet, it's really hot today, so it's pretty dry up top already. But spray it to kind of keep it wet, at least at the bottom, a little longer. I'm gonna mix slightly darker version of that green. There's more pigment in it than I had before. And I'm going to pick like a few key spots that need, I don't know, just darker. It's kind of half dry, so this might be. Oh, that's a petal too. Oh well, that one is now a leaf. I should have paid closer attention, I guess. Let's try more yellow. Let's see, it's pretty dry up top. It's right here. Spray those splatters so they bleed a bit. Okay, this is kind of crazy, but probably pretty good for a first layer. Just gonna make sure it doesn't all pool at the bottom. More yellow splatters. Okay, now we have to let it dry. Shouldn't take too long. Like I said, it's really hot. Actually, looking at the video, this line right here is too strong. So I'm gonna add a little bit of dark, breaking it up so it's not just a diagonal across the. See how that goes. So these blooms happen when you have like a certain dryness on the paper. It's not completely dry. And then you go in with more wet water. Sometimes they're a disaster. I don't mind them for this because the background is kind of, just, it's not precise, I guess. We just need to know that it's leaves, so I think can work that in later. But that is what causes that. And so if you're having a lot of problem with these things showing up, you're either not waiting long enough for your paper to dry, or it's not wet enough. Does that make sense? It's sort of in this in-between phase, and then you went in with like a lot of water, which is totally what I did, and then painted on top of it. So it kind of like meshes weird where it's like partly dry already and not dry. So hopefully that makes sense and is helpful. If it's a problem you've been having. And I definitely like this shape better, so I think that was worth it. So we need to decide what's next. So we definitely want to go darker. So that's our first layer. It's all pretty light. All of my puddles were pretty puddly with a lot of water in them. And this brush holds a lot of water in it. So it makes it easy to do like big washes and things. But it makes it harder to do anything super dark because whatever paint you put in it is automatically watered down. And we don't want to go super dark yet. We want to be in between, but I'm going to switch from the Princeton Neptune brush to my Silver Black Velvet 12, and you can see how good of a point that comes to. So it's nice. You can do some detail with it, and yeah, but it still holds a pretty good amount of water too. And also, like when I'm done using a brush, I don't put it back in upright in my jar. I let it dry like this so that the glue or paint or whatever, the glue holding all the bristles in doesn't just like sink down. I let it dry flat like that. So we need to mix some darker darks, and I think what I'm gonna do is focus on the focal point, which is this area first. Maybe make it look awesome, I'm not sure. Hopefully it will. And then next move over to this area. So kind of starting to get a little more detailed in this area up there, and then whatever I need to finish left on the background at the end. We'll see how that goes. I have a comment, but it's in Spanish. Let's see if I can figure out what it says. Well, you're welcome. I'll have to translate it later for the rest. Hopefully there's not a question, because I don't have any. I don't know if it doesn't look like there's any questions, but thank you. Okay, so we're gonna mix. I think we'll start with the flower, really dark paint. So it's way thicker, a lot more paint and a lot less water. So Permanent Rose, Janet's Violet Rose is this purple. It's a little more opaque. And just looking at my painting, I mean, it's so vibrant, the color, but I'm gonna, grab some alizarin crimson, which it's hard to tell the difference between those, but the alizarin crimson's a little more red. And for the darks, I'm just gonna grab, I'm gonna grab blue. So this is French ultramarine. So I need to fill it back up. And I'm gonna make a sort of shadowy purple color. So I kind of have like this color prepped thing. But then I also want to have some greens ready. So I'll start with this one, making it thicker. And then just grab some of that. I love this gray green. So that was the phthalo green. Well, that's not what it is. The Windsor green plus the permanent rose, which gives it that grayish color, and then my warm yellow. Okay, so I have like a cool grayish green, my poppy colors, and we're gonna see what we can do. And the trick to making this flower kind of pop, oh, I said poppy, it's a peony. Making this peony pop, we're gonna want to save some lights. So I'm looking at the petals, but I'm gonna be leaving more white of the paper than what I'm seeing in the thing. And this flower sort of has this lacy look. Grab more. So I'm using some smaller brush strokes in a lot of the areas to see if I can like replicate that a bit. Down to the petals that I've messed up a bit. They might be fine. This paint is basically out of the tube. My colors that I mixed are not bright enough, so I'm just going from right in the palette. But again, the goal isn't to just be like pink all over the flower. I'm going to save out that texture, and the white is going to make it I don't know, it's going to give it that sort of glowy look. I'm going to soften out. So, pulling in that shadow color. I think I'll save that like that. Part of me is like, maybe it's too much white. Maybe it is. Right in that center. I'm going to tone it down just a little bit. Okay. So the rest of them, we want them to be not so detail-y because they'll draw too much attention to themselves. This one that's next to it, I'm gonna clean my brush out so it's mostly water. And then let that color go in. I think I'll leave that one like that. I said I was going to use green while I went. Okay, we're going to do a few leaves. Oh, this is drying so fast. That's what happens in the summer. So I made these really thick. I just added water to them, so they're going to be a little bit less thick. Okay, my yellow green. I'm gonna go add shadow to this stem. And also this one, which has almost disappeared, but now being a little more precise, sort of, with leaves. These have sort of rounded leaves. I don't want them to look too pointy. The goal isn't to paint every leaf that I'm seeing, but I am using them as a guide to just kind of decide where to put things. And the peonies are still wet. They are going to bleed together a little bit if I, like this one is probably going to bleed together. That's okay. But where this highlight is, I just did a hard line against it. That's going to draw a lot of attention to itself. That's kind of what I want, I think, because it is the focal point. See, I'm switching to greens just based on whatever feels like fun. If it's like, oh, I got too much of that one, I'll add some of this other. See, that bloomed again because this was sort of dry, sort of not dry. Part of my problem is that it's so hot and summery and I have the fan going. So it's drying faster than I am anticipating. I'm not a huge fan of how straight this looks. There was supposed to be a petal right there. I accidentally painted it out. So, I don't know. So, just break up that a bit. Okay. Over here, we have some leaves. Not dark enough. Gonna use the spray bottle to give it a little more abstract. A little bit brighter pink right in here. This puppy is behind leaves. Corner. I'm gonna make it warmer. And more, what you call, less defined. So painting wet and wet right now because I just sprayed that to death. I'm gonna let that be just like that. It's got these fun shapes. You know they're leaves, but they don't need to be precise. Moving up. Be a little more precise up here. Okay, I said I was going to do this, then the background, but apparently not. It went a different way. I'm going to do this stem. So it's kind of going from this super fuzzy feel to like being a little more defined. And yeah, do that again with this guy. That's too dark. So I'm using my brush, wiping out the water and sucking up some of the paint. Okay. I like how that's looking. There's some overlapping right there, so it doesn't look too weird. So while I'm gonna let that dry while I work on this flower. I think I'm gonna do just water in my brush. And wet the white petals at the top. So now that's wet. And then grabbing my paint. Gonna go let it be softer, which I think is working pretty good. And then as I come down through the shadow, I'm gonna get a little more thick with the paint. And then go into my purpley shadow color made with ultramarine blue. And then I'm just gonna redefine the leaves right there. Okay, saving that like that. So you can see it's still pretty vibrant, but it's not as like attention drawing as this. So hopefully that'll translate well later. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one, but I don't want it to stand out as much. So I'm not going to use as much bright color. Just water on the petals. And then same color, but more water. Yeah, I think that's good. So it's bright, you still know it's a flower, but it's not drawing all the attention. I think this is working pretty good so far. So now I need to choose like anywhere I want to define a little more. In the picture, this stem right here is lighter. So I'm debating about like adding some dark behind, but I think I really like it like this. That part of the background being pretty faded. So I might leave it. Just thinking. So I think I want this darker. So I'm gonna leave, here's my plan, see what happens. I'm gonna leave this fuzzy with everything blended together. Where this stem goes, redefine the leaves. So it doesn't look like it's just disappearing into nothing. And I think I'm gonna have the top leaves. I think. Is this what I want? I don't want them to draw all the attention. But something like this would probably be good. Okay. We'll do it. So where that is right now, it looks weird. So there's not enough of it. I think I want leaf. Over here, I have leaves. I'm gonna go make them light against dark instead of dark against light like I have there. Getting somewhere. Light spray of water. I don't want to like completely wash it all out like I did before, but yeah, soften a bit of it, I guess. How's that looking? Okay, I wanted to leave this, but it doesn't feel right. Need more, I think just more dark. I think I'll do some definition up here. Looks kind of odd. If it looks out of place, add more of it. That's what I learned in school. Just gonna add a little dark right here just to define. All right, I love this spot, but I'm gonna have to do something because it's just not right. I think I'll go in and put dark behind. These shapes, just like I said I wasn't going to do, but I think it will anchor it over here. So we'll go too dark. I said dark, but it's going to be not as dark as this. Okay, so far so good. This, I'm just going to paint this shape. Did I already say out loud this is negative painting? So that's like basically, I don't know, you just paint the negative shapes. It brings out those leaf shapes. I don't think I said at the beginning that this paper is the Hahnemuhl cold press 140-pound paper. I like it, but I've been wanting more textured paper, so I've been doing a lot more paintings on rough, which I like. So I'll probably do more of that in the future, depending on what I'm painting. So the goal is to kind of make this dark area, I don't know, sort of meet up, but also like not lose the interesting shapes we had. I hope that wasn't a mistake just now. Painting that light area. Okay, let's look at it. I do like that better. It was a good decision. So we're at about an hour, and I think that's probably gonna do it. Overall, I feel like I met my goal of getting this to be the most important. After I turn it off, I might emphasize a couple more shadow areas. Well, we can do that real fast, actually. I'm just gonna grab my purple. Purple and pink. It's gonna be pretty thick. I want it to be dark. And just give it a little bit more. That might have been too much. This is negative painting again because I'm saving out the petals that I want to be light and painting the shadow behind them. Now I just have water in my brush, so I'm softening the top edge. So it's hard on one side, a hard edge on one side, and a soft edge on the other. Use a little bit of that right here. Okay, I think that turned out pretty well. Still has that kind of straight line right there, which I don't love. Shouldn't have painted out that petal, but I did. Anyway, okay, so if you're signed up for my email list, you'll be one of the first to know when this original art goes up for sale. And also, everyone signed up by June 30th gets a free digital coloring book of fairies. So make sure to sign up so that you can get that. It's only going to be available that one day. And I think that's everything for today. This is the painting. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.